Hello. Hi. Welcome to our anti-haul for the month of May of 2022. If this is your first time on the anti-haul, a brief description of what it is, even though I have like 20 videos of me doing this before, this is how this works. So the anti-haul pretty much is me talking about stuff I didn't buy from the last month with like K-pop stuff. I am a big K-pop collector. I just filmed myself opening like 35 boxes of K-pop stuff. So I buy a lot. But there's even more that I don't buy. And collectors, we just don't talk about that very often, of stuff we don't buy. And I think, you know, there's some thought process to it with some stuff. Some stuff, it's not much of a thought process. But I think it's fun to kind of go through all the releases of the past month that had some kind of physical packaging. And I give my thoughts on it. It's kind of just me reviewing releases and with like some like little anecdotes, but it's a fun time, I promise. So the month of May, overall, I feel like not much happened. Is that just me? A lot of my ults came back in like that March-April period. So there's kind of been this break, and now everyone's coming back June, July. So May was kind of this like little slump of a month. So I'm sorry if there's not too much positivity on my end as I go through these releases. It was just a lot of stuff I don't already buy and am not gonna just start buying. But nonetheless, let's go through it. Starting off with sseraFIM, Fearless. New girl group! Yes! Oh, and not only is it a new girl group, it's a new girl group from a big company. It is HYBE's like first debuted girl group, which is exciting stuff, especially when you have the members Chaewon and Sakura from IZ*ONE. We also have Yoonjin from Produce 48 as well. A lot of hype. A lot of hype. There was a lot of excitement going into this group. Yeah, I pre-ordered all the versions before the group even came out. I bought this. We're not going to talk too much about it. I do, however, want to touch a little bit on the Garam situation. Because in the past, I typically kind of talk about some controversies that come out with releases and how it makes me feel about buying the release. One very similar to this is probably High Key, who had the one member who is now out of the group. So there's kind of some relief there. She wasn't a bully, it was more of a political situation with her family. But with Garam, she has bully allegations, which like have kind of been admitted to. The whole situation's really weird. I don't feel comfortable with it all, especially when dealing with minors. Like, these are children at the end of the day. I do, however, just think she should just be pulled from the group. And yeah, I did buy my albums well before that controversy came. I am fine having these albums even with the controversy. She was never really my bias to begin with, so I don't really think of her too much when I think of the group. I think it's just a very unfortunate situation. I also just really love the album. iKon, Flashback. This title track is a vibe, and I think it's my favorite iKon title track. Like, I like it more than Love Scenario, more than whatever. It's just like, I don't know, the rest of the album, maybe not so much. And I don't own any iKon albums. Why would I start buying iKon albums right now? They're so far into their career that it'd be weird for me. As much as I like the title track, it's a no. Ryeowook, A Wild Rose. So this is a member of Super Junior with another solo album. My gosh, there's always some Suju something coming out every other month. It's, you know, a lot of ballady type of songs. I thought some were kind of nice. Others, It's not something I really revisit, not something I listen to. I don't collect Super Junior, so No. Lim Young Woong, I'm Hero. We have to talk about this. This release, oh my god. And you might be going, who? What? Why is she building up something for this? And I understand. You might not know who this is. This album is like one of the most sold albums of the year. Ooh. Yeah. Like there's a stat of the top 5 highest first day sales like ever or something. And it's like the first 4, you know, are like BTS, BTS, BTS. And then this dude. I think 17 actually passed him, so he's no longer in the top 5. But so this guy is for the Ajumas. I don't even know how to explain it. He's like a ballad guy, but he's also kind of like a trot guy. Weird album. Like some songs, fine. And then you just hit like a weird auto-tuned song that should have come out in like 2009. What an album. It's really long. I mean, feel free to check it out. It's definitely like older women in Korea buying this album. It's just kind of insane when this dropped, the statistics coming from it, because international fans were just like, who is this man? And then you listen to it and you kind of go, oh, it's one of those releases. Woodz, Colorful Trauma. I bought one version. I have a Woodz collection, so I bought one. I am kind of deciding, though, I think going forward with a lot of solo artists, I think I want to start buying them used, because it pains me to buy new versions of like solo artists, because I don't really care too much about the inclusions. And a lot of my photo cards and stuff I sell anyway. And when it comes to solo artists, their stuff doesn't really sell that much, because sometimes they don't do like that many photo cards. Like there's just something to it where I'm like, I'd rather just save my money on those. With like some exception, like Taeyeon I'm buying new every time. Classy, Class is over and Lives Across. Oh, new girl group, woo! I forget that they're new. So Classy came from a show, was it My Teenage Girl or something? It was, you know, your kind of like produce type of show. It's not produce though, it's not Mnet. And I did partially watch it. I had considered doing a series about it on the channel, and I just wasn't keeping up with the show. That I just didn't want to do a series on it. I watched part of it, and my favorites did not make the group, except like one. So that was a bit disappointing. I was just kidding, 2 of my favorites made it, but like 4 of my favorites didn't. They did a weird thing where they released like 2 mini albums. One is like, I guess, their debut, which like has like new songs and everything, and then the other has some songs from the show, same different, and surprise, and then like the other 2 are new songs. This group is already just as confusing as the show. One thing to point out about this group, if you don't know, there is a weird age gap that occurs, and part of that is because of the concept of the show, where they had different classes, where you have your young ones in, what was it, class 1, and then it goes all the way to the girls in their 20s who are like in class 4. And the class 3 girls just like didn't make the group. So there's this weird like 4-year jump between like the girls, which it's kind of weird and a little off-putting at sometimes when you see some of the girls. Like there's just an obvious age difference. Putting that all aside, how do I feel about the music? It's okay. I think it's decent. It's not like a group I'm really like raving about. You know, maybe if I watch the show, maybe I'd have a little more attachment, but maybe not, because my favorites didn't make it. So, it's so sad. I hope my favorites debut somewhere else. I do think it's a permanent group. I'm not entirely sure, but it makes sense for it to be a permanent group. Overall, though, yeah, I obviously didn't buy it because I talked about it so much. I don't know if going forward, you know, maybe that'll change. We'll see how the music goes, I guess. But as of right now, nah, holding off. TXT, Thursday's Child. I shouldn't have to say it, but I'll say it. I bought the 3 versions plus the 5-member paper bag things. I buy everything TXT, so this shouldn't be that much of a surprise. Ciipher, the code. I definitely mixed up this group with Bay 173 and just being confused because I thought they just came back with Jaws, but no, that was Bay 173. I just can't tell boy groups apart, but I already knew that. Totally missed this release too. I just don't remember this happening. Probably because it happened around TXT and that's where my mind was for quite a while. Overall, it's not my style, so I won't be buying it. Jeong Sewoon, where's my garden? So he is a solo artist who competed on the first season of Produce. He's not really my style. I did like his one album. Was that like 2 years ago? When was that? I remember digging one of his stuff. But overall, it's not really my style. Kind of continues here. So, it's a no. Hyo, Deep. Did anyone else fall for the initial teaser of this thinking it was going to be for the Girls' Generation comeback? And then it was for the Hyo comeback. What a day that was. Yes, Hyoyeon from Girls' Generation finally gets an actual physical release. So, congrats to her. There's only 2 new songs. It's got her songs from like years ago on this, which I wish that they did something like that. It would be for a full album and not a mini, but okay. Hyoyeon, for the most part, has been like 50-50 for me on her songs. She's not like really a Girls' Generation member I'm looking to collect. I don't really even collect Girls' Generation. It's really just Taeyeon. I do want to point out how horrific the packaging is for this. And it's weird because if you're aware, Girls' Generation solos have had essentially the same packaging, where it's just like the classic book packaging. Taeyeon's kind of gone off on her own, which that's fine. Makes a little more sense. But everyone else, you know, they've been keeping to the Taeyeon style. And then Hyo just doesn't. And it's not good. Yeah, this is a no overall. But yay for Girls' Generation comeback later this year. Davichi, Season Note. Very pretty, nice vibes. Not gonna buy it though. Don't buy any of their stuff, really. I'm not too familiar with their work. I just know they put out pretty music. And that's nice. Astro, Drive to the Starry Road. This is their 3rd full album. That's insane. Meanwhile, Wiki Mickey doesn't get shit. I apologize. We're talking about Astro. If you have followed these videos, you pretty much know my general thoughts on Astro. They are not a boy group I have particularly connected with. I do think this is like one of my favorite title tracks from them. I think this is really fun. I enjoyed kind of the early cute Astro, and they kind of went away from that, and then they're kind of back to it with this. This overall has been like a pretty good year for Astro with me. Was MJ this year or was that last year? But I liked his song. I love Jinjin and Rocky. And then this, like, yeah. I don't really care for the album that much. I just don't really like member solos in a full album. I just don't think they're really that exciting. There's not like really good flow to it all. The only album I can really think of that has kind of done that well is maybe BTS's Wings, and other groups have kind of done it since, but there's never really been like that successful at it. Like Dreamcatcher also did that with their full album where you get the member solos. I don't know, it kind of feels like it doesn't feel like a full album when they do the member solos. And you know, I don't dislike the concept of it, you know, it's a fun idea, but it's never really executed well enough in a way that makes me want to listen to the album. Yeah, Astro, no, not mine. ONEUS, Trickster. ONEUS is one of those boy groups that, you know, I kind of like. I've never bought their stuff, but every now and then, you know, with the title, I'm like, oh yeah, this kind of slaps. What was this? I didn't like this. Aww. It's very much just not my style. And like I said, I haven't been collecting ONEUS to begin with, so this wasn't the album that made me go, yep, now's the time to start. TNX, Way Up, new boy group, and clap of approval. P Nation's new boy group that was created on the show Loud that they did with JYP, which I did not watch. I do think this is the best put together album from a new boy group, where like there's a cohesion to it. I think most of the B-sides are equally as good as the title, and although I don't like have this connection with the group, I think they are right now my rookie of the year in terms of boy groups. So good job, P Nation. Doesn't mean I'm gonna buy it though. Yerin, Aria. So this, I believe, is going to be the last of the GFRIEND branches. I don't think Sewoon's going to be putting out any music. I think she's going more into the acting direction. So Yerin. I didn't really care for this. I haven't really cared that much for any of the GFRIEND branches, which is a bit disappointing. I just think this was not quite a style I might have wanted from Yerin. I think she has a voice that kind of reminds me of Yena's, and that it has like this high-pitched kind of cuteness to it. And she has a fun personality too, which I think she could have tried like the Yena route, and it's probably not maybe a route she wanted to do. And I also think of Yena because the title track is very IZ*ONE-esque. So the whole time I felt like I was just comparing her to Yena and like, oh man, what if Yena did this instead of what she did with Smiley? But I liked Yena, and I didn't care for Yerin that much. Their names are also kind of similar. I'm sorry, I don't mean to compare to someone else. But overall, it's a no. AB6, A2B. Didn't these men just have a comeback? I swear to God, it was like 2 or 3 months ago. How are they doing this? This is all new songs. This isn't like a repackage or anything. This is just a brand new comeback. No pun intended there. I don't know how they do it. It's crazy. This company just debuted a new boy group too. How? What? My faves could never. I'm still not an AB6 fan, so it's just gonna be a continuation of, yeah, not buying this. ONEWE, Timeless. This is a special album. It has 2 songs. 2, because one of them is just like a 2022 version. Which song was it? Did I write that down? No, I didn't. But they have a 2022 version of an old song, and then this new song. It's also packaged just like the ITZY and TWICE limited edition versions, where they're just like a bag thing and the album's inside. It's just a no. Everything about this is a no. Single album, horrible packaging, and it's a group I don't collect. So it's a no. GOT7. GOT7 is back as GOT7, and they got all 7 members. Crazy. Yeah, so GOT7, after parting ways with JYP, have come back together, and it's kind of surprising how quickly this happened. I wasn't doubting they would never come back and put out music. I didn't think it'd be this fast. I think it was pretty crazy that they were able to get like the rights to GOT7, since that typically does not happen when a group parts ways with their company. So I've not looked into kind of like how that all happened, what happened, but it's very cool. And then it's kind of funny how they named the album GOT7. I used to collect GOT7 way back in the day. They were my third group. It was my third alt. 2017 me is very confusing. But along the way, I kind of stopped collecting them, and I haven't bought a GOT7 album in years. And I'm still okay with that. I don't see myself buying this, since I haven't been buying their albums for so long. And I wasn't really buying the solo stuff. Just me and GOT7, collection-wise, we have parted ways. But happy to see them back. Especially Jeong. Oh, I should watch his drama, because he has a new solo music. I'm sorry. We're moving on. Lightsum, Into the Light. Okay, I actually do have quite some things to say about this. Lightsum is a group I have been fully collecting. They are a cube girl group, and I generally love cube girl groups. Plus they do a more cute style, which is what I love. And so I've been like really excited about this group. I was so sure I was going to be collecting fully for them, and I kind of just stopped here. For their past two albums, I bought the M-Wave signed copies, and if you watched my unboxing haul, whichever one it was, when I unboxed the second one, it was both versions signed, I did make a statement of saying, I kind of regret doing this, it was really expensive, I don't love the group that much where I want to be spending that much money on like these signed, both copied albums. Coming into this, I had that same thought because they did the signed albums again. I went, no, I don't really want to do that. I'll wait for the album release, and the album released, and I was pretty okay with now buying the signed copies. I do generally like the release though. I like this comeback, but it's not screaming, I want to go buy this. And a lot of that is just kind of where I've been collection wise, and I've been wanting to cut back a lot on groups, especially groups that I'm not ulting. And this was just one of those groups that I kind of just sat back and went, do I really want to keep collecting them? I don't know. So if I do continue, it's probably just going to be like a one version per comeback thing, unless something changes and like I end up just like loving it. Because this happens where a group goes along and I'm kind of like, yeah, cool, I'll buy one version. And then like suddenly this comeback happens and it like just slaps me in the face and I fall in love. Like just look at pretty much all of my ults. That's the story of all of them. I should do videos on how I ulted my ults. Oh, that could be a fun series. So with this, I am putting it on hold and I'm gonna wait for future comebacks and then decide like, okay, this is the game plan of my Lightsum collection. Cool? Cool, you don't have to approve of it. It's my collection. I get to do what I want. Blanky. Key 1, confidence. Thumbs up. New boy group. No clap of approval. Actually sounds like kind of harsh when I say that. I didn't make notes on this. I just said nah. So, nah. Apparently, my friends were talking about this. I guess there's some idols that have debuted before, like in this, or maybe in some competition shows that are in this. A lot of that, I don't know it, since I don't follow too much boy group stuff. I just know their company is like Keystone. So I just been calling them the beer group up until they got the name Blanky. So stupid. Kang Daniel, the story. It is so crazy to me the features this guy can get on his albums. And yet, the features aren't enough. I won't be buying this. BVNDIT, re-original. They're back! Oh my god. BVNDIT has been gone for what, like 2 years or something? One was cool. Was that last year? No, that was, oh my god. It's so great. I'm so happy they're back. BVNDIT's not really a girl group that I have particularly been like standing. I just really love Cool, and that was enough for me to like be somewhat interested in the group, and then they just disappeared. And normally when these girl groups disappear for over a year, they come back with a song that I really just don't like. It just happens so freaking often. Every now and then there's an exception, but so often it's like, I'm so excited for them to come back just to put out a song I really don't care for. And I think they actually put out a pretty decent song. I think overall this is my favorite, actually not a thing. Overall this is my favorite EP from them. Jiggy. I dig. But haven't been collecting BVNDIT, and this wasn't enough to make me go like, yeah, I'm gonna start collecting BVNDIT. And also I'm just on edge of, you know, and when a group disappears for like over a year, that's not really a good sign, and not making me go like, oh man, I should start collecting them now, because I don't know what the future holds for them. So just nah. 17, Face the Sun. 17 was the group I started standing after GOT7, but I used to be a huge 17 fan. I, for a while, was collecting all their stuff, only like one version per each. When I started my collection, I was not getting multiple versions. I could not tell you when it was. Actually, no, I could tell you when it was. I don't know the name of the album, but it was the first like envelope packaging that they did. That was when I went, I'm not buying this. And like since then, I just haven't bought a 17 album. At that point, I was starting to follow mostly girl groups. I had kind of not been listening to 17 as much. Because 17, I really just loved the early, like, cute, fun stuff. And then they kind of, like, went away from that a bit. But they still dabble in it. You know, Darling in this is a little bit more of the early 17, which I like. But I have stopped collecting 17, and I haven't felt the need to get back into collecting 17. So, I didn't buy it. Also, let's just talk about how many freaking versions there are of this album. Oh my god. 17 for a while has been a lot of versions kind of group. You know, it wasn't that weird for them to do 4 versions, and then they pushed it to 5 versions. And then we just get member versions. There's 13 of them. So you have your member versions on top of your, you know, normal versions, which are going to be at least 3 usually. And then now we have these Weverse versions. That's insane. That is just absolutely insane. I do think those like 17 member versions are adorable though. And if I was collecting them, I would definitely buy one of those. Because they're really cute. NCT Dream, Beatbox. Do I have to say it? Yes, I bought, what was it? There was 2 normal photo book versions, and then they did the member digipack versions. So that's 9 versions, and I'm so happy. Oh my gosh, thank you, Dream, for continuing these member versions. I really need to stop ulting groups from these big companies that keep doing member versions. Because this is just a trend now. I'm accepting that this is just the norm. It's not even big companies now, because ONEUS doing it. I mean, that's for the next month anti-haul. But oh my god, I'm just accepting it now. With any K-pop release, we are going to get member version something. And it's most likely going to be jewel cases. Or a digipack. Anyway. Moon Sujin. Lucky Charms. This is the K-hip-hop / K-R&B / K-indie addition to the month's anti-haul. Yeah, Moon Sujin. If the name sounds familiar, she's like kind of been around. She did a song with SNSD, I believe, but she's not like K-pop. But she finally has a mini album. It comes with a physical, and it's a jewel case, as are most of these K-hip-hop, K-R&B, K-indie releases. So that's a no. You know, it's a vibe of an album, not vibe enough for me to want to buy it. But I'm happy she finally got a physical. Victon, Chaos. Stupid O'Clock is just such a fantastic title. Title of the song, I mean. Not like title track. Not that it's bad. It's bad. I just wanted to say Stupid O'Clock is such a funny name. I don't remember the song. I don't remember actually if I liked it or not. Victon's not a group I collect. So, not gonna start now. So that's all the albums. Extras. I don't have anything. I didn't really research that hard or look into it, but I couldn't like find anything. Or there was stuff and I'm like, I think I already talked about it, and I didn't look to see if I talked about it already. The only thing I am going to talk about is, and these are still album related, but Red Velvet has been doing a reprint of their older albums, which is exciting, I guess, but as someone who already owns them all, I'm like, it's just mixed emotions, because, you know, I'm happy people can complete their collections for an affordable price, but as someone who had to hunt down some of these albums, although actually for the most part I really didn't. Some of them I kind of did, but like as someone who had the collection already and like was like proud of having kind of rare albums, it's just like a, I don't know how to explain it. I talked about this a little bit when the Oh My Girl reprints happened. That one was actually a little more frustrating because I had to hunt down those albums. So for them to then just be like released like that, I was just like, you know, granted my albums still have like the first press, like, ooh, bougie like sticker or whatever, but I don't care enough about that. I have been thinking about buying some, specifically the Rookie albums. I do own all member Rookie versions, which was easily the hardest thing I had to buy when I was collecting these years ago, because even then those albums were hard to get. 2 of them are a little faulty. I should go get them. Let me go get them and I'll show you. So my Joy version and my Silky version, which like right now you're like, what? They look fine. The Joy version is like especially bad, and I bought this used, but like it's falling apart. There's like tape on it because it was like broken. I don't know. I remember when I got this, I was like, oh, this is why it was only like $10. But you know, it's still there and gets the job done from far away. And then the Silky version, you're like, it looks perfectly fine. And you know what? It is. I bought this sealed, but this is the problem. There's nothing wrong there. Well, let's compare. Do you see the difference? Yeah, I don't know what happened, but like, you can see where the letters are supposed to be, but like, it's just not there. And for the most part, I have this displayed like cover out, so it doesn't matter. But like, if I were to ever line them up, it just wouldn't have it. And that's something that just really bothers me. I have considered just buying those two, but then I don't know what I'm going to do with these two. Because like, they're faulty, so I don't know necessarily who'd want to buy them. I could give them away, since I am planning on doing album giveaways this year once I start going through my collection. So maybe I'll do that if people are interested. It's just so annoying spending like $40 on two albums I already own. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I do. You know, comment your thoughts if you like what would you do in that scenario? If you're like, oh, that's not really that important to me, so I would just keep the ones that I have. Or if you're like, oh my god, that would bug me to no end. So like, I would want to buy like new, like good versions. So, a little fun fact about my rookie albums. But that is everything for this month's anti-haul. We are done. Thank you so much for watching. Please tell me your thoughts on the releases of this month. What did you buy? What did you not buy? Was there anything I touched on that you didn't know about that happened this month? You know, talk to me, whatever, communicate. I love reading the comments for these videos. But I'm gonna go. Have a lovely time of day wherever, whenever you are. Mwah! Bye-bye!